Ladies and gentlemen, the man. Are you going to watch the game live now? It's Tim Allen.
You know, I'm feeling so guilty. Everybody in LA that it's like America's team now. And I said, I've only had bad luck at games. I mean, from Silverdome to Briggs Field, Briggs Stadium, I've had every Thanksgiving, including this last one. I take my
Yeah.
whole family down there for years, and they've literally, lost a lot of them. I've left at halftime. I've never left at halftime. And now all of a sudden they're winning, and people go, "You're going to go to the San Francisco game?" I go, "No, I." When we were kids, we had lousy seats. It was literally better on television. I mean, at the Silverdome one time, I couldn't even see which team was playing halftime. We were way up in the oh God, and I think we saw I have every memory of going to live games has been terrible. Has been terrible. So we used to put the TV up in Royal Oak at my house there. We put a TV on a crate in the snow out back. We all sit out and watch the TV and scream. It was actually better. And now my daughters are going, so this is one daughter who just, when they go to the Super Bowl, are we going? I went, hey, don't, I'm not really I went to the Super Bowl before COVID in Florida, and I was working on Last Man Standing, so I was with Fox, and it was there. So we got treated like that. You get carted in. It wasn't like Taylor Swift, but we were in a Fox group with the all the players' families.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you're kind of protected, so it wasn't all about me signing or being friendly with the people around me. I could watch the game. That was all right. Otherwise, you're in a box, and when you're in a box the stadium's like this, and then TV's actually better, and then I feel guilty because you wouldn't go to the Super Bowl, and I said, well, when you put it like that, and so I said, my older daughter keeps saying, you mean when they go to the Super Bowl? I said, I'm an old fan. When they beat, as much as I adore Stafford, when they beat, everybody thought that the Rams are going to come in and take it away from them. When they beat the Rams, I was going, there's my Super Bowl.
Right.
I'm pretty much okay. And some of the broadcasters I know out here in LA says, you're such a cheesy fan. I says, I don't look at it that way. When we beat Green Bay last year, I was done. The fact that they beat Green Bay in Green Bay and wrecked Aaron Rodgers' day, I'm a fan. Okay, I'm done. They can lose the rest of their lives. I'll go back to that again. So this is such virgin territory for me to see the CBS graph and see that beautiful Lions logo, San Francisco. There's four teams.
That's it.
I don't even know how to deal with this.
But that's what. Remember when we talked in November, Tim? You were whispering. You didn't even want to say it out loud that they were good, and you wouldn't even say they were good. You would say, "I like the offense because they're really they score quickly." You felt guilty. I don't know if guilt's the right word, but you seemed like you were
I
like,
didn't. I did.
"Let's
I
not
don't know
talk
what.
about this."
I've never. I've always, I'm always a Lions fan, and I said, um, I believe it was Tony Romo, who I've met and is really kind of a nice guy. But every bad memory I've had about the Cowboys is, I was quarterback then, because they stole the game from us several times, and uh, he said under his breath early on, like the Lions had probably won 6 or 7. And they were all talking about teams and everything. He goes, it was under his breath. He goes, "There's a Super Bowl offense in here we're not talking about, and it's the Lions." And they all just moved on. And then I asked, I think Jim Gray or somebody else I know, and I said, "What did he mean that?" He goes, "Well, you start looking at this. Just look at the numbers of inside the red zone, and when they were on this path where every down, if they ran it." Between the three running backs at that time. I think they had 3. I can't remember. It seems like a different name every time. It was early, and they were doing 5 to 7 yards every time they ran the ball.
Yeah.
Now you can do whatever you want because the other team it beats them up when you're running like that. And for many games, they were running against it, and I think Romo meant that. And I started watching. I go, this is like a Super Bowl offense. They played these darn Chargers out here. I think it was 35-31 every time they
That
had
game
the
was
ball.
nuts. Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
Defense a little
And
wonky. So I don't know how this is going to work out. I all I could say is I really didn't want. I know it sounds weak. I didn't want the Green Bay Packers to beat San Francisco because I didn't want the Packers coming back. Because it looked like at Thanksgiving they really had our number.
well, I was thinking about the show at the Fox because that's a week from Saturday. It'll be the third here back in Detroit. When Detroit wins on Sunday, you're going to be so happy you'll be swinging off one of the elephants on Saturday night.
Right.
Or if the other thing happens, you'll come out all black, sit on the edge of the stage at the Fox Theater, and just
We'll
commiserate
sing.
with everybody for 20 minutes, right?
Commiserate. Yes.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, it won't be. And I'm a diehard loser fan. Any team that loses, that weeks ago when Buffalo lost that game, I felt the pain of Buffalo fans. And we are so used to losing that it's a moderate losing. That loss, and I'm a Buffalo fan. I've always been a
Oh,
Buffalo. And I said that was horrible to watch that. So
it had to be wide right. Why wide right? You can lose that game 100 other ways, but not wide right. You can't do that.
my old buddy Eddie Murray playing
Oh yeah.
Dallas. What was that?
Oh
Five.
yeah.
That was a hockey score, if I remember. It was 5-2 or something like that. Wasn't it a
So the
weird
other,
score like that? And
yeah, the other thing I was thinking about on the Saturday night game, go back to the Fox. If they do lose, you're probably going to go over and do some spoken word of Cliff Bells around the corner. Maybe just get like a beret on and just
No, it's all grateful. I'm grateful that the uniforms look good now. The stadium
yeah,
was these guys are different. The coach, as I told his wife, I met his wife at Ford Field over Thanksgiving. She's great, and I was joking with some of the players, and I said he's the type of guy you want to get in a headlock. I used to wrestle when I was when I was wrestling in elementary school. Anyway, I sound like Joe Biden. I was a championship wrestler. Tell me you never wrestled. I said, he's the type of guy you feel like you want to get in a headlock with. And that said, that they're all different, and I'm ever hopeful looking at the future that the Lions have turned a weird corner. Now they've got a monkey up their back. Finally, when they beat Washington, that was the longest stretch of losing to a team. They got that monkey up their back, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. And I had it's a different Lions team, and it's a moment of gratefulness for all of us fans seeing the group in there. We're not trashing other teams like that. We're a classy group of we've been through a lot, and it's I'm grateful for where it is, and I'm grateful for winning and losing. I'm just grateful for that team.
somebody said that Dan Campbell's the guy you bum a cigarette off of in front of Nemo's, and he tells you about why that. And you go, "How's the team? Oh, the defense, man. They got to get better on defense. For the back end, they got to fix that crap."
Yeah, forget it. But he's the kind of guy immediately want to go into stance. Come on, come at me. Come on, come on.
Yeah, he's the guy in the upper deck at the Silverdome that you didn't want to get in a fight with.
Right, right.
Yeah, throwing people over to get out of his way.
He'd be the one to tell you that you don't want to get in a fight with me. He'd be nice enough to go, whoa, 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 calm down here. Have some nachos. You don't want to fight this.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying this, Tim, because we've talked so much about it here that everybody, and it feels like the Lions. This is not a we're glad to be here. This is a business trip on Sunday. They're going to go out there
Yeah.
they're going to go to beat their ass. They're not going to
All of a
just
sudden,
show
it
up.
felt like that. It really felt like that when I was kind of walking into this, talking with you. I don't feel like they're underdog. It's a football game, because right now it is football games.
Yeah.
And I will give two sides of this. San Francisco is what they have earned. However, I saw, and it was scary, the Green Bay Packers kind of beat them for quite a while.
Yeah.
And the Green Bay Packers kind of beat us like that. So I was real worried about that. The Lions are no matter what, they've earned this. They've earned this position. They're not one of the last 4 teams. I don't think I'd like to see them play Baltimore. I can't even go there. My older daughter goes, "Well, we're going to the Super Bowl, Dad." I go, what a weird thought. And then you get there, just like these playoff games, it's just a football game again. If you move it away, and if people would leave me alone about going to the game, I like to sit there and usually watch by myself, because I curse. I don't what we're going to have my older daughter wants to come over, and I guess the two other guys that like football that love the fact that my team's winning. They're just good friends of mine. They're one's a Buffalo fan, and the other guy's a Rams fan.
So there you go. So yeah, again, you're in the moment. So many other people are. So we've been asking celebrities to give us their prediction for the score on Sunday, and local celebrities and stuff, and people around here. I'll give you an example. I texted Iserman. He never returns a text message. On his birthday, he responded in 3 seconds and gave me the score. I love it. He goes, it was 35-31, like boom, like that, Lions. And Coulier said 13 because of Pavel Datsyuk. Lions win by 13. Of course, Coulier is going to say that. But everybody has it in their mind how this game's going to go and what the final score is going to be. So Tim Allen, I put it to you. Final
27-10.
score, what's it going to? 27-10 Lions. Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
and there's the Super Bowl.
Yeah, God. I said that. Generally, who cares? What it does. They've already gotten us out of this 19. That I used to make jokes, and I got kicked off the CBS DS one time because I kept saying Peyton Manning that year scored every time he got the ball with us with the same 3 plays. You'd think, could somebody point the defense in the area of that receiver? And Shannon Sharp did it once with the Green Bay Packers. I'm yelling, he's open. I mean, I'm up in the stands going, why would you let it go? And out of frustration one day, I said, there was a poster in there. That big flag is 1957. I said, you should just take that thing down. All it does is remind you. And they go, what would you do, Tim? And I said, well, number one, what I would do, this was years ago, I would take the Lions, just take the year off. Just say, look, we're done. We're not capable of playing in the NFL. And you go sit at that time, the Patriots stadium for the whole season and watch what a winning team does. Hopefully the players would go, oh, you're supposed to protect.
That's what you do.
Okay. Sit with the winner. And then for the next year, have the Red Wings coach them. And then the guy says, well, it's a hockey team. They don't know anything about football. I said, well, neither do the Lions. But at least the Red Wings know what winning is. And then they said, okay, and then the interview ended. And I said, I was kidding. This is a fan that was frustrated after years of these, 9-8, and 7-6 and all that stuff. This is a very different world. It's great to see that logo up on those with the other teams. And we've moved up a rank.
It's funny because Detroiters, we can talk about the Lions and our frustration with them and everything else. But if a national media guy takes a shot at Detroit or something, we want to get in our car, drive to his house, and kick his ass on his front lawn.
Yes.
Right? It's just like Stephen A. Smith says, Detroit's recovering, blah, 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 whatever he said. And everyone's like, that's it. I'm done with him. I'm never going to talk to him again.
But I've gotten, because I remember one of my buddies in Detroit, he texted me after the game. He said, you remember he used to work out here as an editor, and he actually produced my first special for Showtime up in Kalamazoo, Jeff Nelson. And he did this. He said, do you remember we went to a bar? Because the only time you could see early on before satellites and all this, we had to go to bars that had different TVs on, and very rarely they'd have to be playing somebody. Otherwise, you'd never see a Lions game if you're out in Los Angeles. I figured out on one of those big satellite dishes how to do it eventually. But he said, we went to a sports bar here in Los Angeles. There was a crowd cheering some game. I don't even care. And there's 2 of us watching the Lions game. It was kind of over in a corner. And they looked at us as though we had just got out of jail, which is too far from the truth for me. However, he said, do you remember that? And I said, we were out by ourselves, and people were had their pity. They go, I literally was probably Detroit and Cleveland playing on one side of it. So I've come from that. So when people make jokes about the Lions, I'm so used to it. It's like when I was a kid in Seaholm High School, and before that at where was Byers? Where did I go? What was it? I can't think of my right now. It slips me. The Cummington junior high. I had really bad acne, and eventually you get used to people making fun of your face, and okay, got it. I get it. Yeah, it looks like a pizza or whatever the hell, but and you ignore it, and eventually you ignore people making jokes about the Lions, and I don't say anything. I don't generally wear my Lions hat. I have the last 4 or 5 years just because it's cool looking. And people always go, "Oh yeah, Detroit, they still have a team." And this is out here. It's so I relate to the Browns, although they're not really the Browns. The Ravens are the actual
Yeah,
Browns.
yeah, it's confusing. Yeah,
It's confusing, but I don't know if there's another team. Maybe it's Houston or the Texans. I don't. Is there a team that's had it longest stretch that we have, which is over now,
no,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Our stretch is done. This is now 2024 is the last time we got in a championship. So
No
yeah,
more, no more SOL things. No more
no,
the meme of the Simba and Mufasa looking out in the distance, going, "What's that in the distance? Super Bowl. I'm a lion. I can't see that." Like, no more of that crap. We're done with
I
that,
like
Tim.
that Simba. I haven't seen that one. I've seen every
Oh
other
my
one.
God.
Mostly you get this weird pity.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get pissed at people who go, "Oh, it's too bad, huh?" Yeah.
Might have been a good pickup line if you were younger out in LA. I'm a Lions fan. That could have been like your opening, or.
Oh, yeah. Women go,
Yeah.
so you know
Yeah.
what it's all about. Yeah, I do.
um, we will be there on the third. I'll be holding up the sign with your score. And do you want me to get a sign to come to the Fox Theater that says "Try to see home"? Just hold it
Yeah.
up.
Try to see him. That'll be great. Or nice try.
Nice try.
Yeah, I'm
Thanks for
looking forward to
jinxing us,
being home.
Alan.
I'm looking forward to being home, seeing a lot of buddies. And I said the Fox has been a dream to do. I've done the Fox for charity work. I've done the Fox for comedy shows. For what did we do the last one there? It was for the late Florine Marks, and it was for a charity, but it was a big packed house. And she was and she passed away. And Ken, this has been a real sad year for me for just wonderful, iconic people that have passed. And suddenly, Florine was a doll and a wonderful person and an icon. And Kenny was the same way to me. And I said, I come back, and my mom is getting really, really struggling in Detroit. So it's always a sad and happening to come back.
Um, we worked with Ken Calvert here at CSX, and anyone in radio in Detroit, and anyone in Detroit knew the casual one, Kenny Boy. And I told you, Tim, and I think I speak for everyone. He loved you. He loved your friendship. He loved telling great Tim Allen stories, and he took so much pride in your success. And I've never met a guy who was so genuinely excited for everyone else's success, whether it was you or Coulier or anyone he talked to. He was more excited about what you were doing, and he would never talk about what he had done. And I love that. And your guys' relationship, I don't think people understand how special it was between you and Kenny Boy.
Yeah, I said that we they lived right near, only about 3 blocks away from me when I lived in Beverly Hills, Colorado, or Beverly Hills, Michigan. It's always weird. You live in Beverly Hills? No, I don't live in Beverly Hills. On the mountain of Mulholland. But I said I was there all the time. He and Annie and my ex-wife and I were very close friends, still are with my ex-wife. Even my current wife is Jane. We're all very tight. Just saw Kenny and Ann at my place in Leland this summer. It was wonderful that he got out of the house. He wasn't 100% healthy, but it was back. It had nothing to do with what took him. And it was is Annie and I said, what a freaking blessing. We had a big ass laughing our ass off at dinner and acting like we've had trips. I'll give you one story. We had a big rich guy thing. I rented a yacht, and it took I think 5 couples, and we went through Greece and acted like fools, and it was all these wonderful couples. And one evening we went into some Sardinia. I'm just making up names, but I love Greece. If you haven't been there, go to there. I love Greek food. I love Greek town. I love Greek everything. And so we would go down, and we'd been out late, and I got up early, and everybody was kind of hungover. With that said, I've been a sober guy for about 27 years, but this was Ken standing there with a suitcase and a suit on. He was just standing right by the gangway, or what is it? The
The
ladder.
gangplank, yeah.
We were out in the middle of the water, and he said, "What's up, Ken?" He goes, "I'm waiting for a boat. I'm gonna head into town and buy a new donkey." And that was straight as an arrow. And I said, "That's freaking brilliant, man!" And you threw it out there, and then he stood there so that you just kept standing there till everybody walked by. He delivered the same line to everybody. going in town and I'm buying a donkey, but a suit in the middle of Greece in a yacht. And I said, that's Calvert who thought that out, thought that joke out and sold it and sold it. Everybody kept going. I said, have you talked to Ken? Yeah, he's standing over there by the gangway. That there's no boat there. He goes, yeah, he's waiting for a boat to come. Yeah, he says he's going to go by in town and buy a donkey. And you didn't ask him what that meant? People said, no, I don't need a donkey. I don't know why he's buying a donkey. He's joking. He's telling the joke. God, what a genius.
I can't imagine dinner with you and Ken because I know just going to lunch with Kenny at the Red Coat on Woodward, you blocked out an hour and a half because he would introduce himself to the waitress, get his
Right.
Budweiser, and then explain exactly how he wanted his food. And then he'd have a conversation with anyone around us, and they all knew him. And it was just fun. You just sat back and took it in. So I can imagine dinner with you two must go on for quite a while.
Well, at their house, and it was game time. We watched the Lions game there, or at my house. I don't believe we ever went to a game again. I think we're both in that same vein. I don't mind watching stuff on TV. I don't going to the game is one thing. And we used to commiserate. He and another musician, Ken McNeil, we call every Sunday. And one of the guys, Ken, always was that upbeat. There's points where it was really good. I really liked how it was going, and I kind of flipped out of there in a couple of bad calls. I go, Ken, they lost, and they're going to keep losing. I'll talk to you next Sunday. He always says, and he's one of the guys I call. He goes, this year's our year. I says, Ken, how many freaking years have you said that to me? This isn't our freaking year. This isn't our freaking decade. I'm a consummate pessimist, and he was a constant optimist. And you're right. He had nothing but gratefulness for everybody else's success, and vice versa. I loved everything about what he did. And what was that little musician that he was so into? Seeger, Robert Seeger.
Robert, yeah, the guy from Ann Arbor.
A little
yeah,
musician that he really was proud of. Yeah, I think it was I've heard of him. I think it's Robert or Bobby. Yeah, Bobby Seeger, I think it was. Like, I think I remember that. And his relationship introduced me. I said, that whole world of rock and roll, of course, that was. I keep thinking about this. The world, it was AM radio, the hits, and then it's almost
CKLW, man, the Big Eight. Are you kidding
me? The Big Eight, yeah. And then all of a sudden rock and roll. Then all of a sudden FM came commercial free, except for the 5 times we're going to mention commercial free. We're commercial.
Well, there's that. Yeah, really.
There's that, and then there'll be the Grandy Ballroom's having a little blue light special thing or something. I said that, and I'm thinking at home, that's kind of a commercial for not having a commercial. And that was rock and roll. And that was so much of my upbringing and so much, it's just a big hero of mine.
Calvert, every time that I would call him, we would inevitably start we would start the phone call with Arthur P. I'll tell you what I just told you. It was always Arthur P. He was legendary, man, but he did love you. Tim Allen, we love you too. And we thank you for the time as always. And I will be there. We will be there on the 3rd at the Fox Theater and that Saturday night. Folks, tickets are very limited. Make sure you get them. This is going to be a very special night. When they win, Tim's going to be in an Aiden Hutchinson jersey shirt and nothing else.
And no pants.
Go-go boots. No pants, go-go boots. Come out there and just one time.
Yellow clogs.
What are you, going to the Tulip Festival in Holland afterwards?
I think of Holland, Michigan. I'm pulling that in there. Yeah.
Just doing the go-go dance. Yeah. Tim, thank you for the time, buddy. We'll see you soon. Go Lions.
All right, buddy. Thanks. Go Lions.